Indeed, with me in studio are two ladies who are also mothers, and who will be speaking to us to try and understand if indeed society really understands the conversation around pregnancy loss or infant mortality. Seated next to me is Josephine Cheruto. Karibu sana, Madam Josephine, and Ruth Kemboi. Many thanks for joining us. We start with you, Madam Ruth Kemboi. The issue of child loss in society, especially to a mother who keeps losing children, say the firstborn, the secondborn, like that. How are these mothers taken into society, and how do our society really interpret the whole thing around pregnancy loss or child loss?
Thank you, Madam Lois. Personally, I want to thank NTV for giving us this opportunity, and I want to say something small about child mortality. In this county, we want to thank God because we have so many hospitals, and it has become a bit rare. But some years behind, things were not good.
Yes.
So I think we should do a lot of capacity building to our mothers.
Yes.
Because from the look of things, women are losing their children because of carelessness. Women are losing children because of traditional birth attendance.
Yes.
And it has made things worse. So I think as a county, we want to thank God because we have MTRH, we have so many sub-county hospitals, and our mothers have managed to visit the dispensaries and the big hospitals. Yeah.
And of course, one of the attributes that the doctor spoke to Gladys Gashanja about is the issue of immunization against disease. Madam Josephine, do you think our mothers are consuming this information in the right way, and indeed they're appreciating the role of immunization to ensure that child mortality is protected against?
Thank you, Lois. You know, traditionally, when you lose a child, it is taken to be a bad omen. It is not taken positively. Yes. Especially now, you lose the first one, and you know you are married. It's like you brought something bad to the family. When you lose the second one, it is like now they are thinking of chasing you out of this family because it is like you are not somebody good. And you know, marriages are being sealed by children.
Yes.
So when you don't have children, it is not a good thing. But we realize that even those who are taking their children for immunization, they are not. In fact, they are not sensitized so much to know that it is helping them.
Yes.
Because we realize that in our societies, even here in Mozambique, people still believe that there are some diseases. When a child gets, they should not be taken to hospital. They should not be given an injection. It is
they
like
will give maybe some herbs,
and such. So we realize that we lose many children because one, what we believe in. Two, realize that the young mothers nowadays don't even consider the diet that they take during pregnancy. And we realize that many of the children that are born are not in good health because most of them take chunky food. They take chips, they take sodas, they take bread. So it is not good food that is balanced diet. Because remember, as a mother who is expectant, you are not feeding yourself alone. You are feeding also the unborn. So we realize that many children are born with the diseases that they come out with. And we realize that without the know-how, we don't even take them. After birth, we don't take them always for checkups, and maybe when they have a cold, we go to the chemist. I think what is making us to lose many children. Mtoto akikuwa mgonjwa, when a child is sick, many parents, many young parents go to the chemist
for over-the-counter medication.
Over-the-counter communication. And we realize that many children we lose nowadays. Pneumonia. The cold. Realize that you see somebody carrying a child in the street without proper clothes, warm clothes, and it is like, because the young people, themselves walking half naked, so they don't even consider their children being given clothes that are warm. So we realize that we are losing children because of ignorance.
And maybe what's the trend? Because I remember before we went on air, you had mentioned in your years when you used to raise or bring up your babies, you used to tie them on your backs, then you'd have a number of lassos and shukas and shawls. But today you will find me and my son just walking in town. I'm holding him, he doesn't have socks on. If you could talk to us about that.
Yes, we realize that you know, I think even the old people are not teaching the young ones on how they should carry their babies. Because when you are carrying a baby, you should know where the wind is coming from, so that the child is not facing the direction of the wind. The child should not be facing the direction of the wind. The child should be facing the opposite. But you realize that the young people are walking with the back, the baby back, even without any other shawl. It is like it is a fashion. When you are carrying a shawl, it is like you are an analog. So we are in digital. The child, the legs are out with only maybe a skin tight, and you know, this is a child that the skin is still light, is getting a lot of, and the dust and everything, and what they are given. You realize that even the young people are not interested. They leave the child to the house help. You don't know even what they are given. You don't know what even how they take care. You get home in the evening, and it is like these children are not taken care of. Yes.
Okay. And maybe Madam Ruth Kemboi, you can talk to us about giving proper care to children. Like Josephine here would argue, she notes that part of the reason why we experience child mortality during these times is because the mothers of today, or the young mothers, are really not conversant on proper ways of taking care of their children. But in their defense, many are working mothers, and at times they leave their children to caregivers or house managers. So how can a mother who's watching also chip in to ensure that there's proper care for her child, even as she tries to balance between work and the baby?
The baby. Thank you, Lois. Currently, we have a problem with the young mothers. I think the problem starts with the mothers, because we don't do the transition.
Yes.
At times we just give our girls to get married, and after getting married, we don't know what they are doing in their homes, with their family members. I've realized during our time, we used to prepare a nice bed for a mother after delivery, of which you use your own bed, you warm your child until even maybe 1 year. But currently, the young mothers just come straight away from the hospital. They throw away their child, and they just sleep with their husband. So the baby coat is just there for the child. So at times the child feels so cold, nobody cares. At times she oversleeps, even what happens. But during our time, I believe we had an ample time with the child. You could just breastfeed your child at the right time, warm your child, and maybe after 1 year, then you shift to the bed with your husband if you want to. But I think we have a problem with the transition. I think we should teach our girls. We should advise our girls on what to do, even know how to warm these children. At times when you go to the clinics, you see how the young girls behave. They don't care. At times when the child is sick, she doesn't even want to know. She wants to give the house girl to take the child to the dispensary. The child will be given drugs of which she cannot even be in a position to dispense. So I think there's a problem with us, the mothers. We should also advise our daughters before they get married, or now even how to handle their families. There are some common diseases like malaria, the cold, fever, and even taking the child to the clinic. They don't even have time to see the procedure.
Thank you. And as we wind up very briefly, Madam Josephine, do you think we are a very judgmental society, or are we giving the right support to women who lose children, either after childbirth or during pregnancy?
We are so judgmental, and we only give judgment without giving advice. We realize that what is happening nowadays, many of the mothers, when giving birth, they go through cesarean. And we realize that it is because of a few things.
Yes.
The young women who are pregnant do not know that when you are pregnant, what are you supposed to do? For example, we realize that what is happening, that many of the young women are going through cesarean. It is because with the umbilical cord, it goes around the child many times, so that it prevents the child from coming out in the normal way. But I asked one of the old ladies one day.
So we should try and be more understanding.
Yes, I asked her one day why. She told me, when you are pregnant, you are not supposed to be, when you want to turn in bed, you don't turn like any other person. You need to sit down, then turn.
Interesting.
But when you tell the young, it is like you are punishing them. For me to wake up, sit, and then turn. I think that is but she was telling me, when these young people are told the right thing, then we'll reduce such. And again, we realize that our society don't give solutions most of the time. It is only judgmental, and it is like it is you The problem is you, and it is you who has
and
caused
you
all
carry
this,
the burden.
and you carry the
Thank
burden.
you very much, Madam Josephine and Ruth. A very, very interesting conversation and perspective, and we hope to have you next time when you have a bit of more time, so that we can dig deeper into child mortality and of course the advice to our young mothers coming in very, very handy. And that should be it from us here in our Eldoret studios. Right about now, NTV Sasa team should be preparing for the same, but just before that, I hand you back to Nairobi with Gladys Gashanja.